Oh, there's Jasmine.
I don't even know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Can you?
It is 6 o'clock. I'll call us to order for the Wabasha City Council meeting. Guest speakers tonight, we have Representative Pam Halbert, who's going to go first. She reached out to us several months ago to come and give a legislative update and speak with council. Welcome, Representative Halbert.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I appreciate you having me right after the session ended. So this was the closing of my 4th year as a Minnesota State Representative of District 28. Wabasha is the most southern city of my district. It goes up to Cannon Falls, Redmond, Goodhue, Lake City. And just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the last 4 years. I think it's really good to give people an overall view of what's happening at the state level, which affects you here locally very much, especially in the city, also the county and the property taxes. I know recently many people have seen their property taxes raised, and I just, again, I know nobody really likes politics, including me. You know, but it is what it is, and I just really believe in speaking truth, and I believe in problem solving, and I believe in that we have to dig into difficult issues and figure out how to do things. When I'm out talking to people in the district, one of the things that people often say is, you know, we want you to work together, and I would respectfully say that I would like to do that as well. In the last 20 years in Minnesota, it has mostly been Democrat controlled. When I was first elected in 23 and 24, there was a Democrat trifecta. That means that the Democrats controlled all aspects of our state government, from governor to Senate and to House. And when I was serving in that 2-year period, being a Republican, there was absolutely little to nothing that we could do as Republicans to influence the legislation which was going through the state government. You might not like that, that is absolutely the truth. We offered amendments on many bills to try to bring bills which where I think most Minnesotans want to be is more in the middle. We want to be a purple state. Minnesota, although, you know, we always feel like Vikings and purple, but we truly are a purple state. We truly are a Minnesota nice. Everybody wants it to be a purple state. But in that time frame, in that 2-year time frame, was when excessive legislation was passed at the state level. There was no amendments, there was no compromise, and unfortunately, what we're seeing right now today in 2026, when people are seeing increases in their property taxes, when people are seeing problems with the school funding, it is many of the laws that passed in the 23-24 session, which is now having an impact directly on you here, which you didn't necessarily see immediately in 23 and 24. The last session in 25 and 26, the Republicans tied the House. And this was historic, it's not a common thing. It had not happened for 50 years. And so in the House, what happened was with the Republicans having a tie, we at least could be a backstop for the legislation of the last 2 years. And I think, again, that was really good, right? Because we went back to actually having to talk, actually having to compromise. But still, the Democrats have the Governor Walz, they have the Senate, and so literally the Republicans are just a backstop in the House. Because of that situation, we were looking at in Minnesota, politically, that things that passed in 23 and 24, which we possibly would like to start to look at correcting or changing, the Democrats did not have the will to do that. And as everyone knows, it's pretty popular, but there was an $18 billion surplus that they went into 2023. They spent that and they raised our state government by 40%. And that is what we're looking at right now, is when we look at the outlook of the health, the financial health of Minnesota, which everybody should be doing, because government does not have a magic money tree. The money is coming in from taxes, it's coming from you, it's coming from income taxes, it's coming from sales taxes. And with that increase, that huge increase, it's hard to maintain, right? Just like if a home was to increase their expenses 40%, a business increase their expenses 40%, that would be very difficult to maintain long term. And so the outlook of the state is we are looking at a predicted deficit coming up. So I just kind of want to talk about the climate again, because big things didn't happen this year and they will not be able to happen unless we get a more divided government, or to really be able to make changes, you know, I believe to course correct some of the things would take, I believe, a Republican governor, not to get political, but we do have to course correct at some point. So this sheet, I don't need to go through everything. There were some wins. Again, it was very muted. It was very small wins here and there, and we took them where they could. We were able to stop some really bad proposals. And again, one thing that we need to know, which I think is important for you as a city, we're right here on the border of Wisconsin, is that, you know, people are leaving Minnesota with their feet because of the high taxes. And last year, we saw approximately 43,000 income earning residents of Minnesota leave. And that is not sustainable. And that's why, you know, for me, I wanna make us a more tax friendly state, because people can move and go wherever they want to, and we do not want to continue to lose good tax-paying citizens, hardworking people here in Minnesota, and have them going to other states. Here locally with Wabasha, as you know, we were working on the rerouting project, the Highway 60, and I'm happy to answer any questions on that. So for the 4 years that I have been serving in the Minnesota State House of Representatives, I have been working on this project, and I just want to give a kudos to Caroline. Has been an excellent city administrator for the city of Wabasha. Seriously, she has been absolutely excellent. And Mayor, everyone has been just incredible to work with here from Wabasha. And you have done everything right, from the proposals to getting to where you need to be, to talking to people. And you know, so to just kind of give a little bit of a background of what happened, was this year we passed a $1.2 billion bonding bill. And in that bonding bill, right off the top, you know, and I'm just talking in generalities, might not be exact, but about 50% of that 1.2 billion goes directly to the state government, so the infrastructure that the state owns. Okay, so right off the top, and again, I'm not saying it's exact, but it's about half goes to the state. So then again, this is generalities, but another 600 million was left. There's 4 chambers there's the Republican Senate, the Republican House, the Democrat Senate, the Democrat House. So if you take all four of the chambers, they were given priorities. Now we were down to about $135 million for per chamber. And this is where I really think this is important for you to understand the numbers. So $135 million might seem like a lot. Just in our house, it was over $400 million of bonding projects that were proposed. And so I was very excited because we did have the Wabasha Road project in till the very, very end. It was in the line items, and I was very, very happy because we've been working on this for 4 years and we just wanted to push it over that finish line. And then it was very disappointing to me that the weekend of the final session, I was approached that Governor Walz had a $40 million project that he wanted to put into the bonding bill, and that made everyone readjust the numbers and shave off 40 million. And unfortunately, Wabasha was one of those projects that came out at the very, very end. So I do feel very bad about that. Another thing is, I know we had talked earlier, but I think it was back in January, February before the session started, and you know, I know you have needs for your ambulance facility and you're looking to upgrade that. Just to let you know, I don't know if you know this already, but that there was no local sales tax referendums that were approved through the tax committee. And it's just, it's very unfortunate, the state we're in, because again, when people say to me, we would just like you to work together, I honestly, I agree with you, and I would like to see that as well. At the end of session, it was so frustrating to see small bills that really have no big political agenda tied to them. But many things were being held up because they were all, you know, using them for ransom, like, well, we'll pass this project if, you know, you give us something. That happened to me in my Lake City. I was trying to just pass a bill that literally changed the date of something, and the Democrats held it up in the tax committee because it, you know, it was just a negotiation tool. So those kind of things are very unfortunate. The Democrat senators, her name is Senator Rest. She's on the tax committee and she's a Democrat, and she said that there was a time that we used to just get local business done, and there was a more respect for the Minnesota State Legislature, which unfortunately right now, like I said, it's a really contentious situation. And so I don't say that for you to feel bad for me, but that's what, you know, needs to be understood, is that we're not operating in a typical environment in Minnesota politically. Nationally, if you leave the state, it's very well known about the fraud that has happened in our state. We've lost over $9 billion of fraud to the 14 Medicaid programs. And that is a huge black eye on the state of Minnesota. And that is causing problems within so many of our different organizations. So for example, there's an autism center in my district that was having trouble with getting reassessed. And all of this is happening because of the fraud that happened. So those are just a few of the highlights. I don't know if you have any other particular questions for me, but I'm happy to answer them if you do.
I was curious what that 40 million the government, what was that project?
You know, Carolyn, I texted you
It
that.
was a St. Paul auditorium.
It was,
Oh, really?
so, I can look it up on my phone.
I think.
I
It's
looked
the
it
ice
up.
rink, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I confirmed it was an
Okay.
auditorium in St. Paul.
So I don't know why that got slid in there. And again, I think, you know, this is where we just need to be realistic, okay? So, you know, I know some people like, you know, politicians to lie to them or make things really rosy and you know, but I wanna tell you the truth. And if you take $135 million that was allotted to the Minnesota House, there is 134 state representatives. So that comes down to about $1 million, and then if you add on the Senate, now you're up to about $2 million per district. Now, in my district, I have Goodhue, Wabasha, Lake City, Red Wing. Did I miss anything? Cannon Falls, sorry, didn't even miss you. And so I have 5 cities. And to just give you a little bit of background, you know, in the 4 years that I've been a state rep, Lake City has gotten $0. 0. Red Wing had one, like, it was like a pump house water project, which was like, I feel like it was a very small amount, it was like 1 million something in 4 years. In Goodhue, they're working on a big wastewater treatment facility, but Goodhue is only the only one in my district, so it's only 20% of the total cost. And that's why I was really advocating for, you know, trying to stay behind getting this road project through. Even though we also have the wastewater facility, I still was championing the road project and trying to get the road project through. But I do think it's really important, you know, you might really like people that say what you want to hear, but maybe you need to hear that in my mind, right now in Wabasha, in my district, in 4 years, I have helped the Eagle Center. It was, I believe, $5 million. The hospital has gotten over $2 million. And then we have this road project. And so if you would actually look at Wabasha, whether you want to hear this or not, and you look at the other cities in my district, per population, Wabasha has probably gotten more money than the other areas. And so I just want us to be realistic looking forward, that right now, it's not that I'm not gonna continue to try or continue to advocate. And like I said, Caroline has been so great, you know, looking at federal dollars, looking at how we can get money through transportation, how can we get money through bonding. So we've been very creative, and like Caroline is a workhorse, you know, so I appreciate that, you know, but also I do think we need to be realistic. So when you are making decisions coming up and you're talking about the ambulance or you're talking about different things, I think we just need to be realistic where the dollars are. And when I have a project coming up in my district that's wastewater, and down the road, Red Wing, I don't know if you know this, they're on a 3 to 5 year that they are gonna be looking at wastewater facility, which is toppling $100 million. So the funds are going to get allocated at highest need. And that's where I just think we want to be realistic. I don't know what happened before I was here 4 years ago, if the money and the dollars were more readily available, and so that's kind of you know, the thought. But I would say looking forward, that we should be good stewards. I'm not saying you're not, I don't know anything about your particular budgets, but we need to be good stewards of the dollars and just realize that at this time in Minnesota, it doesn't look, even in the next 2 years or 4 years, that all of a sudden there's gonna be this windfall of money that's going to be available for local projects, right? The other thing that's good to know is in the state, there's 134 state house seats. And we work very well, the Republicans and Democrats, and I was very proud of the bonding bill. I voted yes on it. It was there was, you know, maybe you could really nitpick, there were some things, but for the most part, it was infrastructure, it was water, it was, you know, going to roads and bridges and the infrastructure that we really need to support. And I'm happy to support that. But we do not, they do a good job. What I was saying is allocating, about every district probably got around that $2 million mark that I was saying. And so, you know, again, it's not like there's a pay to play in the state house that if I vote against a bill, I'm not gonna get a project in the next year. There's not a pay to play. There's not a pay to play in the Minnesota State House. I am advocating for this district, and almost across the board, those dollars are going to be spread across the district. I hope that makes sense to everybody.
That's what we were hoping was our year, because we've got this federal money to spend, so. We're gonna keep fighting, we punch up in Wabasha, these projects have been planned for longer than Carolyn and I have been at the table, so. There's a lot of continued strategizing that we'll do to see through the highway realignment.
And I know there was a backlog of projects and again, it's just, I mean, I wasn't in charge, I mean, but boy, oh boy, look at what, if we would have took some of that, surplus, the $19 billion surplus and just, wiped out some of those serious infrastructure projects would have been huge for the state to get some of those off the top.
It's a big deal to get bonding vote this year.
Yeah, so we're grateful that you voted for the bonding bill, because that clears some projects out, but the strategy that we're gonna go for now that I was explaining to Brian or somebody is that, we're gonna apply see if we're eligible for another grant opportunity, and then we're gonna try to get on a list, and Mike Bonnie, if all else fails, we're gonna use our utilities to bond for that final amount, cause we do literally have utilities that need to get replaced, and we've gotta move the project forward, and I'll see if we can delay it or do a part two. I met with the big wastewater plant, and they only got 50% of their request, so they can't even build the entire facility that they need, so.
You mean the one in Zamora?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, I believe it's enough to get started,
Yeah,
but yeah.
do you have any comments on, was there any discussion on continued aid for ambulance services? I know last year they had some statewide aid, and then I understood today there wasn't anything for ambulance statewide.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was saying is, I feel like this whole session, it was just kind of patchwork.
Okay.
And it was kind of like we were just keeping things alive, like resuscitating things, but there weren't big fixes. And I know that that's a huge concern in the rural area. And the hospitals are also a big concern with the funding and all of that. So those are very high on my radar. So.
Great, and thanks she was helpful, Pam was for us on some housing proposals that would kind of take away local control and ability to zone, so thank you for that as well.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That fight might have to continue.
I had my first, after voting against the housing bill, I had my first it was like a political action group, put out a hit piece on me, and I was laughing. Because I was like, I don't care, I don't care, I voted against the housing bill. I mean, I don't take any PAC or lobbyist money, and so, I just.
Exactly does.
But I thought it was very funny because that might make some people squirm, and I literally laughed, and I was like, that's super funny that you think that, some sort of hit piece is gonna make me care. So I'm gonna vote for my cities, I'm gonna support you, and that was a bad bill.
I'm sure we'll come back next
Yeah, I know it's kind of like it goes to, I don't know, it's like a zombie, it keeps on coming back to life or something, but we'll keep on working on getting rid of that. I know all the cities, the funny thing is all of you do want to increase your housing and you're working on it at the local level. So you do not need the state of Minnesota to legislate and dictate how you should do that.
That was the comment at the Coalition of 30 Minnesota Cities, everyone's looking around going, none of these things are as helpful as the strategies that we're all actionably trying to make, work for communities.
And blanket policies are never a good idea, because what might work here in Wabasha might not ever work so. Well, I really appreciate your time, please know, I always want you to reach out, email or phone, anytime. Sit down with Kathy now that I'm not in session in St. Paul, I have more time in the district, but please feel to reach out, I'm happy to talk to you about anything, so. Thank you so much.
As I told Taylor, our next speaker, we don't expect you to stay for the rest of the meeting, it's a beautiful night, so we.
Did you have a question, Ryan?
No, it's the same thing.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you.
And Taylor, I'm sorry I forgot your last name, before your agenda. Please, join us, Taylor's here from Hiawatha Valley, mental health. Corey is your last name? No, that's Brianna.
Yeah.
Reached out before.
I was gonna say
So your last name is
Dower. D-A-U-E-R.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
Brianna wishes she could be with me tonight, but she's ill, so she wishes you all well and thanks you for your time. I just wanna thank Caroline and Emily especially for inviting us to this session and to meet you all. So my name is Taylor Dower, I'm a daytime crisis responder in Hiawatha Valley Mental Health Center. And I'm just here to speak about mobile crisis response and how we can help your communities, and how we have helped your communities. So mobile crisis response is 24/7 support for individuals who are experiencing a mental health crisis. This is stated by statute as a mental health crisis is any behavioral, emotional, or psychiatric situation that without timely intervention could result in significant decline in functioning with a need for a higher level of care or placement. So we are kind of to prevent and help with intervention for individuals who are experiencing a mental health crisis, to support them and their families and whoever's in their community. Who can benefit from mobile crisis response is any individuals of all ages. I've worked with individuals as young as 5, and the oldest I've worked with is 76, but I believe our record highest is 85, so we've worked with all ages. We also are here for immediate in-person response, so kind of to go over a day in my life as a daytime crisis responder is we receive a call from our call center, just from an individual experiencing that mental health crisis, and then we respond out in person. From there, we do an assessment based on their needs, whether that be seeking out other mental health support resources, family supports, creating a safety plan, and just involving communities and educating them on mental health. So we've also worked in the past, co-responding with police and ambulance as well, just working in communities with them. Kind of our 5-step model for crisis response is that we are somebody to talk to, somebody immediately to be there in person to talk with individuals one-on-one. It's completely free to the individual. We are grant funded through our county, so we're a great resource. It's something that is paid for. We also provide different places to go, different options, such as the Southeast Regional Crisis Center, going to other mental health centers, we're doing referrals, coordinating that care, working with the county to get those benefits, and just providing that ongoing support. So after we do have a crisis call, we work with those individuals on something called crisis stabilization. It's where I meet with individuals for the next 6 weeks, just to be that support and to prevent that barrier between getting the services that they need and being that support. So our crisis response team is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a daytime team and a nighttime team. Our daytime team works 8 to 5, and then our nighttime team works 5 to 8. We're in both Wabasha County, but also as well in Goodhue, Fillmore, Houston, and Winona County. So we serve all of those areas. And just with any level of risk, it's determined by the caller. So it doesn't have to be something, a lot of people see our services as like a suicide hotline, and absolutely that's what we're here for as well. But it can be anything that comes up, symptoms of depression, anxiety, any substance use related issues, major life stressors, losses, grief. We've been there for anyone and everyone that needs that support. For our assessment, we focus on current life situations and stressors just to work out and create a plan for next steps with the individual. We're also kind of that navigator of brainstorming ideas that they might not have thought of before or in the moment that can be overwhelming. Overall, just for crisis planning, the key message with mobile crisis is that this is available to anyone, again, no cost to you, paid through by our counties, grant funded, for any type of substance use and or mental health crisis. So again, not only suicidal or self-harm situations, but also any situation that may come up that an individual may see as a crisis. And our goal is to stabilize, support, and bridge individuals to the right level of ongoing care within their community. I also have resources available behind me with cards to our crisis number. We have posters, we also have fun fidgets and stuff too, if you wanna bring those to your kids. And yeah, that's what we're here for. The last part that I was just gonna go over as well is some of our mobile crisis data just from the previous year. So our 2025 data is that we had over 1,828 calls. Again, this is overall in our 5 counties. And for Wabasha, it was shown that we did have the lowest rates in Wabasha County. So we're trying to get our voice out there, let people know about this resource and how we can help. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, we appreciate it.
Any questions?
Yeah. If somebody's in crisis and they don't have insurance, You said they don't have to worry about that,
Yeah,
but if it goes further, if they have to be admitted or whatever, how does that work out, does the grant still pay for that?
yeah, that's a great question. So we are grant funded for our crisis calls, anything where they are admitted possibly to the hospital or CERT. That would have to be insurance paid or out of pocket. However, we have worked with individuals to get that insurance through the county and working through those benefits.
Would
And
it be denied entry?
No,
no,
there's a
no,
federal law permits.
Yeah. yeah,
And then the hospitals also have their own internal services to help people work through financial arrangements.
yeah,
And I was gonna ask for data, but you did that. I wanna thank you for the Narcan, by the way.
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a great program. I carry it with me. You just never know
Yeah,
what's gonna happen around here. So I appreciate that.
absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. I was gonna say, our director is Jen Deek, and then our clinical supervisor is Dina Robinson. So if you ever hear any of those names, those are kind of our leaders and heads. Jen Deek is also in charge of the substance use department at Hiawatha Valley, so she does Narcan trainings, so.
And Joe, you had said the officers are all aware of this program and provide referrals, so, okay. Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know,
say-
Ryan, if it would come up for ambulance, but
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They've already been in there
Oh,
talking.
they can-
Doing the rounds, thank you.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much all.
Enjoy the evening, it's pretty lovely out there, we like to schedule meetings on beautiful nights. All right, and do we have any public comment? Is there anybody online that wants to make public comment, anyone in person?
Just happened.
Okay, if anybody wants to make public comment, just join us at the podium or feel free to speak online and share a couple minutes of your thoughts with council. Hearing none, we will move on to changes or additions to the agenda. We had one that we want to sneak in there. Dean, did you want to?
Yeah, it's not, I'm not gonna have this in the agenda. I just
Okay.
want to let you guys know that, I wrote this letter about changing, Lawrence Boulevard back
Can you just read the letter, Joe?
to the way it was.
I read.
I will be asking that we take it to commission in July, and then, we'll go from there.
Did you want to, or is it too soon to talk about the other email that you sent out about a policy?
Yeah, I talked to
Okay.
Caroline, I wanna hold off on.
Sounds good. We just learned in the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities legislative update that the League of Minnesota Cities is gonna take the lead on that because it's coming up in other cities. So I would expect we'll get good information about that and
Yeah,
further.
I made a mistake, when I proposed this, and,
I think you're just ahead of the curve.
I sat there for about 10 hours last year, last summer and in the fall, and I talked to residents and they don't like the way it is, and I agree with them, so.
So it's on streets.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, just, I would prefer to add it at the end, just because I remember it was a lot of staff time to talk about it at streets and do all the research, so I kinda would
well,
like, yeah.
that's fine, I'll add it, but we do have all that stuff in our May 5th packet from last year.
Okay.
So-
Because me and Jessica had different interpretations, I understood that the council took the final action. So I thought, I told someone, if you wanna revisit it, council has to pick it up again.
Yeah.
You know, versus it being initiated at streets.
So I'll add that to 10.5.
Okay, sounds good. But hold on the
Yeah.
NDAs, okay. All right, I'm not gonna give a presentation except to say that the Legion, VFW and Auxiliary had a beautiful Memorial Day presentation. We often are gone with that holiday. It used to be, school would be out and we'd take our vacation early. It was beautiful. That's a beautiful park that shades everybody in the audience, and Russ Mayer gave a really nice speech, so thank you to everybody who was involved in that, including Brian, the Sons of Legion. Committee reports, utilities.
We just paid bills, so nothing.
Would anybody like to, do you want to summarize report?
We didn't have any,
Okay, and they just had their
we
special
just
meeting.
had our meeting,
We'll
just
talk
had
about,
our special meeting, we'll talk about that later.
sounds good. Anything from ambulance, Ryan?
Well, I have the one thing on the agenda for tonight, but, we finished May, with 97 calls. I think Caroline sent out our Memorial Day, which got extremely crazy for us, with the 21 calls over those 4 days, and then, 8 backup calls, and even a third call where we had 3 calls at the same time. We finished May with 97 calls, that's down from 6 calls, or down 6 calls from May of 25. We're at 403 for the year, that's 17 above where we were at this point last year. And then our transfers that we've taken are up 23 over this time last year. We're still sitting at 53.4% for the year, and we're at like 85%. Yesterday we took 3 transfers and we took another one today. We've had 5 calls today, and 2 backup calls. So we're staying busy. So our summer months are coming, and we'll kind of go from there. Our monitors should be in service once I get the spare batteries that were supposed to be here at the end of last week, but hopefully we'll be here next week, then they'll be on the truck. We did our in-service with that already, so.
Ryan, what's our destinations for all those transfers?
Most of them are lacrosse, either Mayo and lacrosse or Gunnison lacrosse. We go very rarely to Rochester, but most of them are to lacrosse.
And, just real quick, from last year, with transfers, how many times roughly, were we not able to take a transfer? Cause I know the wait time.
We last year, I don't have that number, we finished the year like 41% for the year. So I can email you those numbers, I have them in the office.
Ryan and I were just talking this week, and this past weekend, it was a good example of, we did have to turn down a lot of transfers, because we just didn't have the backup, because the backup is just people in the community happen to be available to take it, and we had the 2 people on, but we couldn't find the backup, so. Yeah, you can.
No, it's nothing about the staff.
Yeah.
Nothing about you guys. It's just-
Yeah, I have those numbers, I just don't have them in front of me, so I can get you those going back until 2023.
Thank you.
you know, the good work.
Tim,
We did not meet.
and did you, highlight anything from your update for, streets and parks, or?
Yep, I included both, because I
Alright, we can do
knew Tony wasn't gonna be able to
Great.
attend. Just, an update is we celebrated the $10,000 donation, going towards the co-funded all ability swing area and the new AED device. A donation from the Wabasha Kellogg Foundation and some sweat equity by Jeff and the pickleball group means that we have new wind screens at the pickleball courts that were installed by volunteers. I've helped the Rotary Club, and this is a great project that was identified in our master parks plan, but we're not gonna have to own it or maintain it because it's on county land, and we are applying for grant for a new rapid flashing beacon signal on Hiawatha near the Big River Resort campground, so that people can cross safely. But that's county, so we coordinated with them and are trying to secure grants to install that, and then the Rotary is committed to maintaining that rapid flashing beacon signal. The library had shelving donated by VMA Grant 2. And then, the other thing I wanted to bring up is that just this past couple of weeks, I was approached by the Isaac Walton League about a donation they received, and they wanna reinvest in a community, in the community in a way that supports their mission. And so we again went back to that master parks, plan and identified that Isaac Walton Park would be perfect, cause it carries their name. And that we need, and then Dean brought this up at the last meeting, we'd like to connect some sidewalks there so you can get to the bathroom if you're in a wheelchair, and make it ADA accessible. That was identified in a 2019 ADA accessibility plan. And then the other thing that we identified for Isaac Walton Park was adding a fish cleaning house. I was confused, I thought the barbecue area might have been the fish cleaning house, but it's not, that's a barbecue area. And then we talked about, that came back in the survey as actually something people are looking for. So what I'd like to do is take this to parks. But I just wanted to remind everyone that back when we did this plan, everyone was worried about all the projects that we couldn't fund in there, and it is helpful. Then when we get donations and things, I always reference that plan, and we're getting it done without using tax levy. It's, you know, it just helps guide donations, and, you know, someone wants to do something for the community, and I always reference that plan. We did just a lot of success stories, and some PR that I did for, EMS week and Public Works week. And this week, just today, we highlighted some great work done by investigative Metcalf on some, a child solicitation case. So we're just trying to continue to highlight the great work all the departments do, and put that on Facebook and on our website. And then we closed on the Carl site this month too, Carl's site. And we're talking about that, so a good month for donations,
Yes.
I would say.
And it was
Yeah.
cool to hear Clearway actually referenced our parks plan, which as a corporate gift was helpful that people know that that's out there.
I just wanted to touch on the AED cabinet.
Oh, yeah,
I did get the AED ordered today, I did get the cabinet because of the calls, but that'll get ordered tomorrow.
thank you.
Great, thank you for
On that park plan real quick, are we marking off what we were doing? So. I was going through
I
it.
definitely could, or we could do like a revisit or something, whatever you guys think would be
I was
helpful.
just going through it the other day.
Yeah.
Stuff that we've already accomplished.
We've accomplished quite a bit in it, yeah.
Wouldn't take much to just,
Stay done,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kinda nice.
yeah, I can do that. Okay,
All right, we have a short consent agenda. We have our regular city council minutes from May 5th, the June warrants, all the annual liquor license renewals, the gambling application for the Eagle Center, temporary liquor license for the Eagle Center, to accept a EMT resignation from our EMT, and then approved to post the full-time position, aquatic invasive species cleaning tool station, and Market Street pay application number 1. Do we have a
I have a
motion?
question on each though.
Yeah, sure, question.
This is to be located down at, the harbor ramp.
mhm.
But we've always had the temporary one near Lakes Park, that's used more often.
I don't know if this is how this came together. This is Tony's item and he's not here. So what I can do is follow up with, Tony and just inquire, is there a reason this site was chosen over the other one, and then. Yeah, I think, the DNR really reached out with this.
Yeah.
And they specifically said in their letter, Dean,
I saw
Parkside
that.
Marina, yeah, so. We can ask
I
them
don't
about,
believe the other one is going anywhere, this is just tools to help people get their stuff off, at no charge to us.
You sure? That's not my understanding. Well, if you could look for that, is, Lakes Park, we have, what, 4 launches there? In the
Yeah.
harbor, we only have 1, and I see most of the boats fishing with sharks in Lakes Park one.
So you're thinking the Ice Park would go away?
Oh,
Oh,
we should be moved over
I got you.
there, in my opinion. But let's look into that.
okay,
All right, with that suggestion, staff, we have a motion to approve the.
I move.
First. We have a first from Tim, we have a second from, that was you, Jeff, right? Oh, was it Dean?
They don't have it.
Dean, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Hearing's a little weird, I'm stuffed up. Our general business 1 is a resolution for the Port Authority, Geo bond, and we have Mike Bonnie here to talk about that. Port Authority just discussed it in their special meeting. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thank you. Well, the good news for the council is, while I spent 25 minutes speaking to the Port Authority, I'm gonna give you the highly condensed version tonight. Most of you are grizzled veterans in the bond issuance process. But basically to let you know that, we are sizing the bonds at $2.05 million. This is based on, the estimated project costs, the issuance expenses, offset by, $4.6 million roughly in grants, and a $400,000 projected, cash contribution by the Port Authority. Should be noted, the cash contribution may not be needed in its full, amount, because it was basically sized to cover contingency overruns. So if those overruns don't take place, cash will be hit, a lot less than shown. I advise a competitive rated sale with the general obligation pledge of the city. That's why you guys are having public hearings on things, adopting ordinances and so forth, to provide that legal authority. That provides the taxing power of the city behind the bonds, which will make them more marketable, get a better interest rate. The competitive sale would have bids open on August 4th. I recommend getting a credit rating with Standard & Poor's. In that process, the rating, the lower interest you pay will far exceed what you'll pay the rating agency, is in your best interest. I did recommend a 20-year term. The reason being is while the projected net operating income of the barge terminal could probably sustain a higher debt payment than a 20-year term, in the instance where there are unforeseen problems, where the revenues don't come in where we want them, we'd kind of like the payments to be smaller rather than larger, so that if we ever had the levy taxes to help support the debt, it would be a smaller number than otherwise it would be. However, while we are pledging taxes on paper to the repayment of the bonds, the full intent is to use the revenues from the barge terminal. The bonds would not be callable until 2034. We could have set that date earlier if we want to, but we might get negative impact on the interest rate on the bids. So I feel like 2034 is a good time frame for that. On August 4th, we'll open bids and present the results that night. The Port Authority is going to have another special meeting prior to your meeting. They will pass the resolution that actually authorizes the issuance of the bonds, but then the council will be asked to adopt the resolution that concurs with their action. And then that will be the finality of the process, other than closing itself, which would occur on August 18th. So that's 25 minutes rammed into 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
As I told Mike, I always appreciate hearing how it works, because we will find ourselves in this position again. So, any questions for me? We have a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll prove it. I'll see a section.
And echo again. Tim and Jeff second, and any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thanks for being with us for
Thank
2
you all.
meetings tonight.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Bye, Mike.
Thank you.
You bet.
Well, this is a pleasure for me, because Caroline and I got to be on the hiring committee, but I would like to introduce Liesl Knox. You probably all know her. Liesl, do you want to just come up?
Sure.
We received 9 applications, and they were all good. 6 of them were excellent. I could say we would have hired anyone in those 6, in that 6 group as a library staff member, but Liesl outshined the 3 top candidates, and so I'm really pleased that we have her in this position. She'll be the next library director when Bev retires in July. Yeah, I mean, the candidates were great, just to receive so many for a particular type of position, and to see some that I think would have been good library staff, not ready to be a director, but hopefully they'll see, you know, future positions and want to work in our beautiful library. So
Thank you.
it was great.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just included some of Liesl's background that you may not know. She's been with the library for 6 years. She has a Master's of Arts in Human Resource Development. I'm excited about that. And a bachelor's degree in communications. And so she's going to be wonderful, and we're so excited to have you join the sometimes chaotic life, but it's fun and we have fun together, and excited to have you on the team.
Well, thank you so much, I'm excited too, I'm gonna miss Bev, and everyone
Yes.
will, but it's, so very big shoes to fill, but I'm very excited to get started and be a part of things in a different way, so, yeah.
Well, and I think that question came up, you know, Caroline said, we can just hire an internal candidate, and your qualifications are right there. But it was great, because Bev does have big shoes to fill, to see what kind of people are attracted to that position, and it validated that Bev is really an excellent director, and that you will be the next excellent director, because we saw a lot of experience in the candidates, so.
Well, thanks, yes, that's nice.
Your patrons will be happy to see you.
I'm glad, yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, and I tell everyone this, you can stay, but we wouldn't be offended if you didn't.
Okay, we'll probably go.
Get one more job,
Yeah, exactly, all right,
Thanks for being here.
thank you, thanks so much.
Would you just need a
We do, yes,
Yeah.
of course, thank you.
I'm
Sorry, I'm so excited, we didn't do it. Motion to approve. Thank you, Tim. Second, Brian, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. It was a good, really good, fantastic panel of candidates. And as Caroline said, it's also rare that we have the opportunity for somebody to be promoted in a role like that, so it's great for these who have the qualifications. Oh, we've got the second read of our floodplain ordinance. Do we have Christie on the line?
I told her not to come,
Yeah.
but then I saw her show up.
Okay, well,
So she's
she's
here
there.
in case we need to
Questions?
answer questions. But I think I don't know, Christy, if you're there, maybe you can refresh everyone's memory, but it was essentially taking what you guys decided last time and just formalizing it, and this is a second read. So,
That's correct, yeah, can you unmute?
we can hear you, Christy.
Oh, you can hear me, yay, it just says mute at my end, I love it. Okay, yeah, we just removed the repetitive loss, both in definition and then in the section in the ordinance, and that's all been approved by the DNR, so we should be good to approve as is.
Great. Well, thank you for being with us.
Oh,
And you
you're
too-
welcome.
You two no longer have to spend any more time online. And we need to accept a formal resignation from Jean. Thank you for your letter.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
we
we
gotta.
gotta
we
vote.
gotta-
Sorry.
I'll move to approve it.
Second.
First and second, further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right.
Brian, Mom, you can go too.
Yeah,
if
Brian
you
can
want.
The splash pad is distracting me. Thanks, Brian. All right, so now we have some process because Jean is gonna resign and have a great life in a sunny place he's gonna send us pictures from. And we have to acknowledge the vacancy, and we can do that. We don't need to do too much investigation, and then we have to make an appointment, but what I couldn't recall is where is Gene at in his term? Do we
So
have
I
a
am
special
up
election?
this, I am up this year, I should have, if I was gonna re-up, I would have had to file by 5 p.m. today, so.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
so,
So it would be vacant for like 4 months.
right,
It's a little better, yeah.
right. So Gina talked about what process, or what possibilities we have. Do we have the possibility of allowing the vacancy to remain?
I think so.
Looking to my clerk people. Yeah. And then Caroline did some clarification on it. If there's a write-in candidate, does that have any terms around that? What did you learn? Because we don't.
That we have to.
Nobody, I guess I should say, no one filed for board.
No, we do that.
Yes, we do have a
We
file.
do, okay,
Yeah,
I looked
Jim
at like
Mathias filed.
4:45 and there's nobody, okay, so,
Jim Mathias.
great, okay, so then we have a candidate.
make an
Was he?
Yeah.
He had reached
Yes,
out
we
to
can.
me, but he didn't appoint, so-
He said he would be willing to be
To be
appointed.
appointed, okay,
Yeah.
very good, I thought we had nobody, so that's good, because I thought Caroline said he was gonna come in, and I didn't see his name when I checked last minute, okay. So that helps, so we can make an appointment, and then that candidate can file, or can run, a writing campaign. Well, no, he's filed.
He's
Yeah,
filed.
Sorry, I had this all set in my head, so I'm wrong, yes, got it, so we are set for the next election, good,
Yes.
okay.
So if you want to appoint someone, you can.
Thank you guys for.
Yes, thanks for your service as director of the
I
ambulance
learned
service.
a lot sitting here,
Yeah.
more than what I did on school board, so,
Oh, that says a lot, because I feel like school board is a big service.
so.
We'll miss you, Jean,
We
and
will.
we're
yeah, thank you.
excited for your next move, and
Yep, so
thank you
yeah,
for your
so
service.
we're looking forward to moving to Arizona, will be a miracle, but you're doing it, so, yeah. A lot more opportunities down there for us, shall we say, especially with the transplant stuff, so.
Yeah.
That's what, part of the reason why we're going. So, we have less than 24 month wait down there, so we're maybe it's 5 to 7 years. So, yeah,
It's hard to be destination medical center.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then plus our son goes to AS.
Yes, well, we'll miss everybody on this scene, Chris Dance, so I hope she keeps at it, she'll make you post all of her accomplishments, and
Oh, yeah, she's really excited.
good, good.
If you ever miss us, you can zoom in.
That's right. You can provide public comment. So, we need to actually formally accept Jean's
I'll make a
resignation.
motion.
We have a first from Dean, and I think a second, Jeff.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I'm staying.
Very good. And do we do the appointment now? Can we do the appointment now, or do we
I think we
wait
have to
till?
notice it.
I think that's
I'm not
right.
sure how it works.
I think better wait.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
I'm very glad that
check
you-
that he.
Willing.
That's why I put it in for July 1st, that
Yeah.
way give you that month to, if I
Get some
have to
news
zoom
done.
in on July 1st or whatever,
Sure.
I can.
Okay. Good, good. Now we have the donations, there's a lot of,
We gotta talk about these.
Oh, I forgot about the ad, yeah, okay, so this is the street issue, and I'm sorry, I didn't even read this, Dean, I didn't see it, I was already here.
No, wait a minute, we don't have to do this resolution 16/2026 resolution accepting resignation and declaring vacancy. Did we,
I think that's what we just did,
I
right?
mean, we just voted on that, didn't
Yeah,
is that what we voted on? Okay.
and then we'll deal with the actual appointment in the July meeting.
Do you want me to speak on that letter?
Sure, yes, please, and I'm gonna read it while you're.
So last
Now you're
meeting, I made a motion to, just switch the bus route from Bailey Avenue to Lawrence, going the opposite way. And, the reason I did that was because of the cost that was in front of us. It was like $60,000, if you guys remember that. And, anyway, I started watching the traffic flow down there late last summer and into the fall, and then this year again. And everybody's going down Pembroke into that, Eagle Center there to see the fall, basically. So I would approach the citizens that I saw doing it, talking to them and talking to other citizens. And I did not come across one person that's in favor of the way it is now. So yeah, I regret making that motion, but I think we should go back to the streets. And we have all the data, from that May 5th packet that's in there. And, have the streets look at it once more. I think you're gonna see a lot more public input this time around. And, yeah, I'd like to have them look at it again.
Dean, I did ask Brian Mom to come back, cause he was the one that, like I said, brought a ton of research last time on,
And that's all in that packet,
in the
that council packet from me.
packet,
Yeah.
so.
So we should all look back at the full contents of that item.
I think the biggest challenge, I just wanna make sure everyone's on the same page, is it to make it safe, required ripping out a bump out
Well,
on Pembroke. And
and
so that was the
that's
big thing
partially
that,
true, but, that was for, the buses coming around the way they are now. But I'm watching that bump out every single day, and the only thing it's doing is slowing people down. It's not affecting traffic flow. Cause
Yeah.
it's one way, so there's no oncoming cars coming, you know,
So they go around it
yeah,
and keep going?
yeah. So, that bump out's great to just keep there, it follows them into that left lane. And, you can obviously see that there. But some of the cost was, trying to get people on, the alleyway there. And then the cost was also, if you need that pump out, then you have to meet ADA requirements for a ramp, a pedestrian ramp, whatever. So yeah, I think,
Does the bump out have a ramp on it now?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember where that was positioned.
yeah, I guess we can go back to the notes, but I kind of remember that's what no one was in favor of, was ripping out the bump out. And that, are you saying turn the flow of traffic and just leave the bump out there and not rip it out?
right, yeah, the main talking point that we had about turn of, cost wise, was if they turned into the alleyway there, then we would have to do that bump out, right next to the Eagle Center's, the corner of their church, the law firm. And that was gonna be expensive. That's where the cost came in.
The other thing we should make sure we're not forgetting about is there any changes related to phase 2, or is all the pedestrian improvements that were done in phase 1 cracked for phase 2 now to the scale phase 2? I think we should like make
The
sure.
other thing that was brought up amongst the citizens was that they want their streets back. They want to be able to go down Pembroke like they have for 50 years, and they don't care whether it is an inconvenience to the Eagle Center. They want that road back.
Well, I remember the impression, the reason we didn't approve it was the Eagle Center wanted it that way.
They did.
Yeah.
And the money that was gonna cost to rip out both the bump out and that corner, remodel it, I'm not in favor of spending 60 grand and doing either one. And why would we leave the bump out of for a change of traffic? So I guess I don't understand why it's even coming back.
Would the buses keep going?
Yeah, how the.
Are we having two different traffic flows?
The buses can go the proper way and unload on the street, like they have all these years.
What's the proper way?
Down
Down
the-
the-
Straight down, going
Facing
down
the river.
Bailey and
Facing
turning.
the river, no, facing the river.
We went over that.
Yeah, we went over.
Otherwise, what was brought up to me by numerous residents was, the Eagle Center could put up some cones. The buses still direct down Bailey and park the opposite way. And then you pick up the cones and walk away. And that would still allow them to park their buses. And they're all on schedule, so they know when the buses are coming in. Otherwise, the buses would have to park facing the river and unload on the streets. And the Eagle Center did not like that, but, I'm gonna listen to the citizens.
But the streets didn't like it either, because that, I mean, we're basically creating a scenario that is a safety consideration.
Well, they
It's our
were,
project, it's not the Eagle Center, it's really.
they were gonna let it go for a year and study it. And I should have let them do that,
Sure.
so.
I admit, it's always been like, because, first of all, you can have a, one-way sign, but when there is a river in front of you, a typical visitor is gonna drive right down to that corner and
I would
drive.
say 90% of the traffic goes the wrong way.
Alright, so it'll
Brian,
come,
do you have any comments? Cause I think, we went,
I'm sure I'm
we
not.
spent a lot of
remembering.
time on it, but.
Why don't we just send it to the streets and be done with it?
They struggled
They
with it.
didn't want it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't-
We didn't wanna change it, we didn't wanna pay money for it, make changes like that.
If we just do nothing and people keep going that way, I mean.
I mean, the only problem is
no
if
one's
the
gonna
bus
give a
comes the
ticket.
other way, it parks there and unload.
Right, at the
somebody
same
wants to go
time,
straight.
yeah.
I mean, that's the only issue, and they shouldn't be going straight anyway, so
For all those cones or?
I just.
Perfect. Unload on the street, no resolution on that.
Okay, well, I don't know, I think I don't know, I've never had this before. We didn't really notice this ahead of time, but
So we
I
have-
thought since you had the final say on it, you'd all have to vote to send it back, or.
Well, we can table it to July to.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't even read the letter, so I wanna at least look at the information being presented.
I just presented a letter for the council, I didn't
Right,
expect it to be on tonight's agenda.
Okay,
so we'll all do that, and it was May 2025. May 6th.
otherwise, if you guys direct it to go back to streets, they could take it up again, but,
Well, I would make a motion in July to take it back to the street, that was my plan. So I'll make a motion now to take it back to the street.
We're okay doing that without a notice item?
I don't know why you needed a motion.
Well, it'll
Take
just
back
go
to
on the streets, but
Or an instruction.
is it, there you go, so that's your request, that it goes to streets, sure.
I don't see why we need a motion for that.
But basically what you guys are doing is tabling it to the July
Yeah.
meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe there's a streets meeting in June prior to that, so you want to have the June meeting, and you're tabling this for your July meeting.
No, it's June now, we canceled, we didn't have street commission.
Oh, it was this morning, okay,
Yeah,
so
it'd be-
yes, okay, the
It's
same day.
July.
So it'll be the same day as our July meeting.
So then that's not gonna notice it until,
I mean, you could put it on the agenda,
Put it on the
whether
agenda,
streets
it's
has
all-
anything
yeah.
helpful for us to consider or not is kind of, that's for their discussion. It's the same street commission members, I would guess, and they're gonna hear the same, from their same. We'll see. Okay, thank you. And now donations, Brian, I asked Brian.
okay, thanks, Brian.
Read them.
I guess we didn't need you, but if we get more, I hear from Dean, we're not supposed to take up more of your time researching it. We'll send it back to streets with all your old notes,
Yeah.
hopefully captured.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll read the donations. For the library, $2,000 from Diane and Fred Schoberg for an Ancestry Library subscription. $250 from Amy Shirts for summer reading. $50 in memory of Rita Renault by the class of 1971, $20 in memory of Doris Baker by Bevan Bruce Hall. Moving on to ambulance, a $900 anonymous donation and a $100 donation from Mary Consulman. Tons of fireworks, we're just gonna go rapid fire. Gunderson St. Elizabeth, 500, Laverne and Kathy Roll, 100, Semcra. It says Pepin Plaza, I'm not sure what that means.
Lake City.
Oh, gotcha, let's see, that's $100, Kellogg Lions, 200, Wabasha Ambulance, 250, Julian Leland Lightnum, 100, Paul Fleechek Insurance, 250, State Farm Insurance with James Anhorn, 100, Greg Vandemark and Jane Wagner from the Heritage Laundromat is 300, Wabasha Lions, 250, Perry Dental, 100, Gary and Anita Stump, 100, Bolton and Mink, our city engineer, $500, the American Legion Post 5,750, and then another donation from Bob and Diane Shield, all for fireworks. And we're still getting more in, so that's great.
Great work.
And lastly, the Wabasha Athletic Complex, the mayor explained earlier, or was it Carolyn, about the donations that we got, Clearway Energy, a $10,000 donation, which you went over what it was for, so.
Good.
That's it.
Thank you, motion to approve the donation.
I move.
Thank you, Tim. Jeff, can I call you as a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, or, yes, right,
Motion adjourned.
thank you, Judy. Second? All right, Tim, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.